to the Bahrain GP here in the Rwagnation League. I'm Ben McConnell, and joining me at the commentary desk is, as always, the talented, the incredible, it's Jess Games. How you doing?
I'm really excited about this race, Ben, and I can't wait to see all the action tonight.
It's going to be so good. I mean, look at the track. We just saw the F2s on this track. It provided a lot of entertainment there, to say the least. 3.3 mile long, 3 DRS zones, 15 turns, lots of straights, but more importantly, lots of overtaking opportunities. This just never seems to end when it comes to a battle. It just continues to keep going at it non-stop, and it's absolutely fantastic. So, Driver Championship. Tom is leading. It's 178 points to Samidia, who's in P2 with 167. Then you've got Andy and Yenab, who are very close together as well. Third and fourth, 134, and then 135 for Yenab. And then there's a bit of a drop. Crew 6 P5 with 47, Mateo P6 with 46, and then Top Jack P7 with 43. Vexit, though, he is, after a really successful race last week, granted, he didn't quite get the win, but he did still score some huge points. Has managed to get himself into P11 with a big round 30 points in his pocket. So great start to the end of the season for him. And you got Gelvan, Hugo's, Copy Ben, Assassin Beaker, Dennis, Lou, and still our 0-pointer, Sink Dylan. Constructors, well, it looks pretty set that Racing Point look to be taking this, unless they have some sort of horrific end to the season with a 302 point gap, and they have 302 points, the gap to McLaren, and then being 196 for them, and Mercedes shortly behind them. We are going to go to a hot lap here from Yonti, who's going to teach us how to drive Bahrain. Home straight, DRS wing wide open as you come up towards turn 1. Be on the left-hand side, brake when you see the blue Gulf Air sign on the left-hand side, get right down the gears, and then close through turn 1 in towards turn 2. Open this up quite nicely because you need to get a good run. DRS gets open here, and you're going to move right over to the left as much as you can without going off track, and then brake hard down the gears. Gear 3, Gear 4 territory, depending on how easy you are turning in. Coming through now into 5 and 6, you got to get this just right. It's a bit of a flick into the right hand, and then carry pace all the way through there, through 7 and out into 8. Very hard hairpin here. You want to be careful with the throttle. You cannot afford to step a little bit too hard on it because you will end up losing your back end. As you come into 9 and 10, this is a very important corner as well. 10, you need to get the momentum through and out of the corner because it's another DRS zone. Can go for an overtake here. Can also lose out quite drastically if you don't quite get the run you need. Coming into 11 and 12. This is quite awkward when your tyres start to wear down. We might see some spins here coming into this race. When the tyres start to drop off, that can easily be your back end stepping as you come into turn 13. And now the long run down in towards the final corner here. That is going to be another, and again, a very important corner. You have to carry momentum through here because the DRS zone is coming up on this just before the start finish line. There it is here. You get the wing open. And you charge all the way down towards turn 1 to then go and show everybody how good you are and how you can win races, easy peasy slaps. So, Jess, I have a question for you. Are you ready?
I am ready for the question. Just fire away.
Hugo's won last week. He is racing again here today, but I've got a sneaky feeling he's not going to be the fastest guy on track today. I've got a feeling Andy's going to make a miracle comeback. What do you reckon?
As long as he doesn't get any time penalties, I think Andy's probably going to get a potential win here today as well. But this is a track where if you do the alternate strategy, it could pay off as well. But you only do that if you're outside the top 10 anyway. So it could be anyone's game. And again, I've seen a few league races where people tend to pick up penalties, so we shall see what happens around Bahrain. It's not over until it's over, and we've got quite a lot of laps here to go, and Andy just got to get no penalties, and he should be fine.
Well, that's the hard part, isn't it, Friendy? He does struggle with getting these penalties. He gets them far too frequently, and we've criticised him throughout the entirety of the season how he had a fair few wins in his pocket. He could actually have really done a huge margin when he come down to the Drivers' Championship had he just kept himself that little bit cleaner. But that's ultimately what it comes down to. If he just kept himself under control, kept that consistency together, could have actually had so much of a lead. Maybe even the constructors might have been a lot closer than it is currently. But unfortunately, he didn't, and now he's got to really reap what he sows. So we'll see now how's it going into the start of the race. The drivers are on the grid, getting their setups on. We do have a prediction going as to are we going to see a virtual or a full safety car by the end of lap 2. So there's 62,000 ginger nuts on the line here, with Tommy P dropping a big old 50k on no. And then there's one person who put on 10,000 ginger nuts. That is Gareth, who voted yes. So Gareth could be in with some big ginger nut bank if he gets this right. With it being Bahrain, it's actually quite possible.
Well, to be honest, Bahrain does bring out a lot of safety cars, but I had never, hardly ever seen any safety cars at the beginning of the race. Usually it tends to fall towards the nearly end, so I'm going to go, if I was to predict, I was going to probably go with the no camp anyway. I just don't think it's going to happen. We haven't had many safety cars on lap 1 this season because of the high caliber drivers, so if there was a safety car, it would happen towards the end of the race, but we will see. We've got 17 drivers tonight. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We've got Huni actually driving. Oh, Hweni, sorry, I should pronounce it correctly. Hweni is driving here today, so we'll see what he's got in his pocket with him. Chenjay surprised us, didn't he? Really, really well in the qualifying yesterday. I don't know if you managed to catch on or not, but he honestly just pulled it out of nowhere. Really, really proud of what he's achieved in this race to see whether or not he can carry it through. Furball, I have just reset the browser, so it should now be working. Give it another go, please. Grizzly, I'm excited for F1 2021. I assume you mean the game. If you mean the game, yes and no. I'm excited to see if they have fixed the game in the crucial areas for me. If they have, then I will be doing content with it again. If they haven't, then I will not be doing content with F1 again. So we'll see. We'll see, Grizzly. I have been thinking about F1 a little bit recently. Not that I want to necessarily go back into it, but I've just been thinking about this. I want to do a little bit of content here and then. Just thinking about the release of the F1 2021 game, what I'm going to be doing with it. Maybe I'll do some my team stuff because I need to ride that bandwagon a little bit, really sort of utilize the opportunity I have ahead of me, but I don't know. We'll see. I haven't yet decided what I want to do. I've got a lot of stuff I want to do within ACC, and I'm very much enjoying it. So we'll bear that one in mind. But we are here at Bahrain. Chenjay miles ahead of everybody in this formation lap. He wants to get this race underway.
Yeah, he does. And when I saw the qualifying results yesterday, I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised actually, that Chenjay got pole position. It's nice to see a different man on the top step for pole position. It shakes up the race a little bit as well, and Bahrain could be a race where it shakes things up as well. So let's see if he can handle the pressure to give a big old dubski at the end and take the win. But we will see. We have a lot of quick drivers on this grid, and it could go either way.
It really could. 2-stop according to AWS Insights with the soft mediums, and a 3-stop if you're really having it down bad is less than ideal, but still a chance. Here we are then on the starting grid, ready to get cracking with this Grand Prix. Chenjay, kick us off. And the lights go out and away we go. It looks pretty clean for the most part. Vexit looked like he got bogged down a little bit there. He might actually be under attack from Top Tom, who's coming up alongside him. Also, you've got Matteo trying to get stuck in here as well. Coming in towards turn 1, Matteo is not going to get the maneuver done. He is actually going to get the maneuver done. He's up now to P4. Andy and Top Tom are fighting as well with Samidia. Samidia's trying to stick his nose in on Top Tom around the outside. Top Tom's gone deep into the corner for turn 4. A little bit of a touch between the two, but no real dramas. Everybody is okay. No spinnerinos just yet.
You can see Chenjay already pulling a gap to Vexit behind in P1, 7/10 per second. Andy dropped down to P3, so Vexit had a very good start. Meanwhile, the 2 racing points are fighting over Top Tom at the moment, which is great to see as well. And even though the constructors may be sort of confirmed very, very soon, they still want to have a little bit of a fight with all the drivers as well, especially Top Tom, who is doing well in the drivers as well. So the Drivers' Championship is still a really good fight at this moment in time. But yeah, it's great to see that Chenjay has not fallen off the cliff yet. He's already pulling within a second of the guys behind, which means that none of the drivers behind Chenjay is going to get DRS. So Vexit, meanwhile, is going to lose DRS, and Andy could take advantage when the DRS comes on lap 3. So good on Chenjay at the moment in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, absolutely. It is so good to see how well he's performed. Already pulling that full 1 second gap by the time we get to the home straight. Really good push from him. Exit P2, like you say, Andy did fall down at the beginning, and that's actually cost him, realistically, it's cost him a chance to go for this race win here, unless Vexit can pull something out, as Top Tom had a little look down the inside. Oh, mistake! Matteo ran deep into the back of Andy. He's got wing damage on the right side now. Top Tom cannot get stuck behind Matteo at all here, and he's through. Andy definitely lost a fair bit of time as well to Vexit, but he's still within that DRS margin, which is very important. I think he's only just within it, because it looks to be around about 9/10, maybe even a full second between the two of them, but Top Tom hanging in here. Telemetry is all messed up. I know it says lap 3. It is still lap 2, I assure you. So you'll have to sit tight whilst we wait for this to fix itself. But I can assure you that Genji is still your race leader.
Yeah, and Vexit is still P2 as well, but I'm sure Andy could get him very, very soon as well. But looks like the medium runners have stayed where they are, and we got, I think, one of the Alfa Romeos not doing very well, Tristan in 17th on the soft, so he wanted to get past the mediums very, very quickly, because otherwise the softs do tend to overheat around this track, so not ideal for him, but I'm sure there's going to be many opportunities where he can get some overtakes done anyway. The softs are incredibly fast around there, but not good in terms of tyre temps, due to the fact that it's quite hot at these parts of the world, so it is to be expected. And the most important thing, they've mainly been practicing on the dry conditions, as some idiot gets past Matteo up into P5 there. So Matteo, I think, is struggling a bit more this race, and he goes into the pits. And I did see someone else go in. Nope, nobody else is going in. Okay, it's just Matteo.
It was a fake. Yenab looked like he was going to go into the pits as well, because I just quickly jumped to him. I saw the same thing you saw. But yeah, no, Yenab actually faked it. I don't know if he was faking to go in with him, or he was just trying to get the extra bit of toe going into it, but I don't know. Either way, he did find himself along the back of his teammate now, and they kind of work together. However, Sumidi is outside the 1 second margin, which is a concern. He needs to close in as quick as possible in order to make sure he doesn't lose sight of this train. DRS is very strong here. 3 zones, lots of straights. You cannot afford to drop down, so burn that ERS away, get back into the train, and just enjoy the remainder of the race.
Yeah, but this is a track also where it requires a lot of low downforce on this track as well. So we don't gain a bit of cornering speed into the heavy braking zones as well. That's where you're going to really lose it, I think, in the DRS straight. So I think that's what somebody's going to try and do. The Haas I saw went off, actually. It might be, it's not Jesper, it's actually Yonti that made a bit of a mistake, but not lost a huge amount of time. But he's got Hweni right behind him as well that wants to get the move, which he does, up into P12, and he's also got Danny Ko on the loose as well. So Yonti not having the best starts of the race either, but there's still points winning him as well. The train is so big at the moment between, I would say, P15 to around about the P10 mark, so points are still on offer for him. It's not over. And the only person that is not on a potential DRS train is Matteo, who obviously had to pit for mediums as well. But yeah, we could see some moves coming very, very soon with more people doing DRS overtake potentially as well. Vex is actually within DRS at Chenj now, so it's crunch time for the Williams driver, who did really well last week.
Yeah, he really did. It was fantastic. It's a shame that Vexit did get that penalty last week, because he could have actually had a chance to fight Hugo's and maybe take that win away from him, but yeah, unfortunately, he did get a penalty, and that put him down to P2 and held there as well. But right now he's P2, and he hasn't, so far at least, got a penalty. We have 53 laps to go. It's 54 if you include the remainder of the one they're on right now. And the prediction is sorted. It does need to be cashed in. There was no virtual safety car, virtual safety car or actual safety car. Oh, that's a bit deep there from Smidia. That's going to cost him some time. And that Yena might actually say, let me buy here. I have a lot more ERS. I can close this gap. Let me through, and I'll pull you along with me.
Well, there's not many places where you could save ERS as well, so I think there's going to be a bit of a danger that you use too much pretty quickly, then you're not going to have time to pretty much charge it pretty much as well. You can gain a bit, I think, in towards turn 9 and 10, but again, that'll be a lot harder as well, because you sometimes, to be honest, turns 9 and 10 is probably the heaviest braking zone on the track. I find it hard on this game, because you have to brake pretty much so early, but we got Yenab right on the back of San Media. Will he fight this one, or will he have to stay behind? There's also Top Tom going past Daddy there up into turn 1. Yes, he does into a podium position as well. So we've got Chenj in P1, Vex in P2, Top Tom in P3, Andy in P4. Yenab gets the move on San Media up into P5. I thought that San Media would have fought that a bit more and defended, but obviously not. So that is interesting. Hugo's, on the other hand, in 7th place. We're not expecting him to be high up, as you said earlier, Ben, but he's doing quite well in the points right now. And like we said earlier, consistency is key.
Yeah, it really, really is. So when he get past Assassin as well, coming out of turn 2 into turn 3 with the DRS as well for turn 4. Got the move done on the straight, and that was easy piece of lemon squeezy. Now he needs to work on the Copy, who is the fastest running medium driver right now. Does already have the gap down to the 1 second and under. If he can keep that, he should be able to take Copy pretty quickly. And the pace that when he's putting on the track is actually looking incredibly good. Let's have a look at the overall position changes. When he is 6 places gained. The biggest loser so far, of course, is Mateo. 12 places lost due to the wing damage, the mistake he made, which sent him back to the pit lane and a little bit further into the back. If a admin could please clear the prediction for me, that would be much appreciated.
I think Gav's going to lose quite a lot of ginger nuts, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But Jesper's doing quite well in P8. He's 3/10 behind Hugo's. He could get him on this start-finish straight here. He's got the DRS over Hugo's. Could he get a run on the inside into turn 1? He's going to think better of it, it looks like. He was going to have a teensy-wincy little look at him, but there was not much space, so he decided to think better of it and stay in P8. But there is a danger that if Jesper doesn't get past, Top Jack will think, you know what, I could potentially get past, and Jesper will probably regret it as well. But what I find about Bahrain is if you're stuck in a DRS train, it's going to be very hard to overtake, probably the hardest to overtake around here if you're in a DRS train. So that is why we're not going to expect to see some overtakes as of yet, unless you're following a car with no DRS. So we shall see, of course, but the theories might be proven wrong. But this is getting very, very exciting right now.
It is. We're only on lap 6. That's the best part about it. We've got so much more to go. The DRS being available to most of the drivers as well is making it even more interesting because, you know, there's so many breakages in this long train. It's not like one massive train that is just continuously on the track. This is getting some people getting very fighty, some people being a little bit more defensive. Somebody like Andy, who just seems to be really struggling. He doesn't have wing damage. He's just naturally losing pace. He's burnt all of his ERS. He literally couldn't get any lower on, if he tried. And he's struggling to stay within Top Tom's DRS range. He has... he's not got DRS. He lost it by the time he got to the detection zone. And that's now him in P4 with 0% ERS. And looking like he's running out of hopes when it comes to getting a nice, juicy podium.
Yeah, which is a shame for Andy. He doesn't really like this track, unfortunately, which does not help his progress. But you've got to live and learn from your mistakes, really, and just focus on the rest of the race, because you never know what could happen. There could be a late safety car. There could be some retirements as well up front, potentially. There could be some incidents. So Andy is not out of the woods yet for him. It could still work wonders for him. And there could be penalties as well that could be added to the mix. So if Andy doesn't get any penalties, it could benefit well from him. So Andy just got to keep going. As long as he can keep up the pace, he should be fine. But we know that the racing points are fast. So if the racing points start to close up to Andy, Andy's in a bit of trouble. But we'll have to wait and see. It's not over in any stretch of the imagination so far. And speaking of penalties, Assassin's got one at the moment. I'm not sure if people are closing up to warnings at the moment, but if you get 3 warnings, 3 track limit warnings, you do get a penalty. So I won't be surprised if more people get to that limit very, very soon. But another person, I've seen quite a few people actually running out of DRS, one of which is some idiot as well. He's pushing like no tomorrow, and he's in a big DRS train, so he's going to probably fall into the same position as Andy if he's not careful.
Yeah, and he's also got Hugo's chasing him down as well. So he's got plenty of ERS, 80% he had there going through that final corner. And now, you know, yes, they both have DRS, and yes, they're going to continue just managing that for now. But Hugo's isn't really looking to potentially pass some idiot anytime soon. He realizes there's no real point. If I pass some idiot, I'm only going to have to worry about Yenab. And if I pass Yenab, I'm then going to be stuck in a little bit of a gap. I can just play it out, manage my tires, ride myself along here, just see where I can get, and then see what happens in this race. Safety car comes out, who knows what could happen. I might be able to maybe get my aggression on. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, for now, Chenjay is still your race leader. Vexit is P2, 1.3 seconds away. Then Top Tom's actually in the DRS there for Vexit, but this train, this beautiful train going from P5 onwards, goes all the way down to P9, and then there's another one from P10 that takes you right the way down to P15, and that's actually the medium runners there, which is going to be really important later. When he on the mediums, being the fastest driver now. Yonti actually within that tow range of him as well, and DRS, of course, means that he will be able to look after his tires just as well. And Yonti's actually showing like he's got quite a lot of pace here that he can deliver. It's a shame he couldn't quite deliver it in the qualifying, but he is going to look to deliver it here in the race.
To be honest, he's not giving up hope as well. He had that, I think he had a few people go past him as well. He had a bit of a slide going into turn 10 earlier, so, but he's within 7 tenths, so, you know, when he can show that he has the pace to get past the likes of Wenny, then it's probably going to definitely boost his confidence up potentially. But speaking of DRS trains, Bahrain is definitely known for him, and we're seeing lots of moves happening at the moment. We got the two racing points, going to be free wide. We got Hugo out of nowhere from P7, I believe, all the way up into P5. Where did he come from? He said he was feeling very aggressive, and he definitely paid off him as well. We got Jesper trying to make the move as well from the racing point into turn 4. So I think Yenab was definitely caught napping as well. That's allowed some idiot to pull away just ever so slightly. We also got Top Jack in there as well. Top Jack does not want to be left alone in this. He wants to be in this fight as well. So watch out as look at this. Top Jack's going to go around the outside into turn 7. Can he make it stick? No, he could not. Wow, this is turning out to be very juicy in this midfield at the moment. Heavy braking zone into turn 10. Still going side by side goes Top Jack and Jesper. Top Jack is known for battling very, very hard at this moment in time. Unfortunately, he could not quite do it, but my oh my, that almost gave me a heart attack. But Hugo's take a bow.
Yeah, that was fantastic from Hugo's to achieve that. I mean, it was obviously helped with a double slipstream, and it didn't help that somebody didn't really have the ERS to defend with. But a fantastic job there from Hugo's to keep himself clean, get the twofer going in towards turn 1. He gets the exit of Dreams in towards turn 2, and that really helped his run right the way up towards turn 4. And there was nothing anybody could do about it. And yeah, Jesper's starting to get involved in that fight as well with Yenab. Yenab did manage to fend him off a little bit. That is very important, very crucial. You got Top actually going for Vexit here. He's got that move done. Vexit did not put up a fight. Don't blame him, because now he knows that together they could actually work together to close in on Chen J, but they have lost a lot of time due to that send there. They were at 1.4. It's now down to 1.7.
Yeah, so the gap has stretched a little bit as well, so I think Andy's definitely struggling. Watch out for Hugo. That's all I could say. If Andy's dropping off pace a little bit, you can see in the same camera shot, then Hugo could be like, you know what? I won this race last week, and I'm going to finish ahead of you again this week as well. So we'll see what the delta is between Hugo's and Andy in the next lap or two, potentially as well. But you can see somebody that's still on this train as well. So if Hugo's making a mistake, it could be game over for him, and everyone else could possibly get some moves as well. Even Chenjay's still in this potential train, potentially as well. Even though he's still leading, the gap is only 1.8 right now. So this is going to be very, very exciting to say the least as well. But I have to say, it's going to be about 6 laps before I think the soft runners will be going on to either another fresh set of softs or the mediums, depending on whether they want to do a soft medium, or soft medium soft, or even soft medium medium. It's hard to tell with these things, but that's why we're not the Jeffs or the drivers. We are actually in the commentary box, because I wouldn't have known what to do. But, you know, they're doing a fantastic job out there, as Chenjay's definitely pulling a gap. The closest battle on track, I would say, was between Top Jack and Jesper, but I don't think he's close enough, unfortunately. But he could prove me wrong going into turn 1, because he's gained a bit of straight line speed on Jesper, but nah, he doesn't get past at the moment.
A bit of a lock-up there as well didn't help his cause, but yeah, he has fallen down the wayside. And Assassin into the pits already. Is that a new wing? It's not. So clearly, didn't feel comfortable on those medium compound tires. Has gone to the softs. I doubt we're going to see a safety car. It'd be very unfortunate if we did. But yeah, Tristan gains that place as well. Matteo, a bit too far back, might not be able to get alongside in time for Assassin. Let's see. As they're coming towards turn 1. Matteo is banking on a safety car. He needs one so desperately. You know, do the rain dance as well if you can. It's not that you're going to get any here, but
strange things have happened.
Yeah, it's true.
But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any rain in Bahrain unless someone actually turned it on in the game. So, but if anyone has actually seen a wet race around Bahrain at dynamic weather, can you just let us know? Because it's hardly ever happened when I commentate, but there may be some people that actually experienced it when it was dynamic weather, but I don't think it's happened. Yep. But I hope it gets introduced in the new game because we have seen in the weather forecast in the past that it has a threat to rain. So it's done it for Singapore many moons ago. It was dry in every Singapore race until like F1 2018, 2019. So it could happen next game, hopefully.
The rain in Bahrain falls mainly on the plane, says Ian.
Nice.
So good, and I like it. Andy, that's not good news, is it?
No.
3-second time penalty for Andy. We've critiqued him far too many times, and it seems as though the plague of getting a penalty will stay with him, at least for now. So yeah, P4 with a 3-second time penalty currently puts him down to around about P6, almost P7 territory. If he doesn't get his act together, that is. Whereas Vexit still within DRS range of Top Tom. Bit of a lock-up on left-hand side for him. Will have DRS, of course, and does actually have quite a considerable amount of ERS, so Vexit can dictate how this one goes down, but he needs to dump a fair bit because he's actually dropping time here. He's leaking a little bit of time away from Top Tom, and that is really not going to help his long-term race. He has to stay with Top Tom if he wants to have a shot at taking a race win. Yellow flag sector 2. That is Hugo's. That is Hugo's. He's facing the wrong direction. He's actually managed to get himself going again, but he has dropped so far down.
Hugo's was doing so well. He was in P5 on the cusp of getting P4 as well. So I think he lost it just in the exit of turn 12, I think. So that is not good for the Ferrari driver at all. Hopefully there's no damage there. Meanwhile, our race leader, he is going for the undercut, going into the pits. Maybe it's a smart move for him. I've seen the undercut work wonders around this track. So we'll see what happens. Can he stretch those mediums, though, to last enough so he can go on soft tyres at the end? We don't know about this as well, but that is a big gamble. But let's hope he doesn't get near traffic, which I think he could. So it's going to be a lot harder for him to get past some drivers. So I'll be worried if I was Chenjay, because if you don't get past, then the likes of Top Tom and Vexit, they can take advantage of this undercut and get the overcut potentially as well. But these guys will probably have to respond sooner rather than later, though.
Well, that's the thing. Now we're going to start to see, this is like shuffling the card deck of cards even. When it comes to it, there's so many tyre strategies that are being played out here. You're going to start seeing the medium runners start to take control of the race again, and then the softs that have just pitted are going to become really strong, and they're going to start charging up and making some overtakes. And again, this is going to be the card of decks. Yes, I know. Thanks for that. Ha ha. I fumbled my words. It is allowed to happen. But yeah, again, just go into it. It is going to be really awkward for some of these guys that are on these mediums. They don't want to put up a fight, they want to just kind of cruise it up a little bit and see how they go, but they are still very close together. Yenab 8 seconds away from Chenjay, who obviously just pit as well, was race leader, is now already on the back of this train that starts with the two Red Bulls.
Yeah, so he's got to get the move done now, really, because he knows he's faster than the ones who have been on those mediums for 12 laps now. So, interestingly enough, Top Tom and Vex have decided that they don't want to pit yet, whereas the likes of Sarmidia has come into the pit, same as Andy as well. And we got the likes of Jesper and Top Jack that's gone into the pit. Interestingly enough, I was thinking if Yenab had pitted at the same time as Sarmidia, did they do a double stack or something? Because I don't think they lost a lot of time. That is interesting. I've done a double stack on this game. It never worked. You get held up so quickly. So I think they must have been further apart of the track to make the double stack happen. So yeah, I
can confirm they didn't double stack. It's just that the lap counter for for all of them, because Chenjay's also done a hot lap on these tires and he's still on 0. So
that takes us back to the beginning of the game where it was like that.
Unfortunately, that bug still exists.
That is frustrating because you can't really tell, to be honest. And yeah, as meanwhile, Chenjay's got past Copy into the after DRS zone, so he's making his way past drivers. It's not going to be that long before he catches up to the likes of Yonti and Hueni, so very, very good for him as well. So Top Tom stays out, Vexit comes in. So we'll see how the undercut works on Chenjay now as he heads towards the final corner. And it's gonna, I think it's going to be quite close actually, because the gap between Chenjay and the likes of Top Tom and Vexit was around about 2 seconds, I think. So we'll see what they could do. But you do lose so much time by staying out a few extra laps. But you'd lose time if you're stuck in traffic. So we'll see where Vexit comes out. Yeah, Chenjay is miles ahead.
Yeah, very, very comfortably ahead. No sweat at all for a fair few of these, and that's the crucial factor we have to think about. So, continuing on, Top Tom is still your race leader for now. Of course, he has yet to pit, along with Hwenny and Yonti, but Top Tom is the only soft runner left out of these guys. Everyone else that is still yet to pit is obviously on the medium tyres, and it's looking good for Hwenny. Pace is consistent. He's I'm rating him. I reckon he's going to do well today.
Yeah, I think he is as well. Like, there's no conditions for the drivers to worry about as well, so we get to see people's true pace as well. And am I right in saying that after this round we have 2 more rounds left of the season? So
I believe so.
So really, it's going to be for some of these drivers the fight to stay in the top 10 because in the standings. Because if they finish inside the top 10, then they don't need to qualify for the Rwagnation League next season. They've got an automatic spot as well as long as they sign up, of course. So there's a huge push for those people to do well. For some people, it's confirmed, but for some people, they're in that bubble. Top Tom goes into the pit lane for the mediums. I'm sure that Chenjay will be ahead anyway. But we could see a DRS train emerging. Yeah, again, Chenjay is definitely ahead at the moment as he gets past Yonti.
Yeah, he is flying right now. He's handling this traffic incredibly well. And he's actually going to have the same scenario for Hwenny. Oh, big, really weird weave there from him. Bit of rub in there between the two of them. I thought there was going to be big contact, but no, actually, Chenjay did manage to get through quite nicely. Hwenny did make it difficult for him, but that was very fair, very elbowy, but still absolutely okay when it came to that defensive move. So good stuff to see there from Hwenny. Chenjay really throwing down that pace. And I'm looking now how far back the P2, P3 boys are. Vexit, Top Tom, if you think about it. They're down there, P7, P8. Andy is even ahead of them. That's how much they got held back by staying out that little bit longer on those tyres. However, I must point out that yes, they will lose a bit of time at the beginning, but they will gain more time towards the end. So we have to keep an eye on this and make sure that they just manage their tyres correctly. They cannot afford for this to go terribly for them, so they have to stay consistent and not fall into the same category as what Andy's doing, which is just getting those penalties, or he's had one, but getting those penalties and ruining your own race.
Yeah, he's the only driver inside the top 10 to get a penalty at the moment, which is not ideal, and that will give everyone else an advantage, but we've seen stranger things happen. We like to see people get 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane, which is quite common around here as well. We know Vexit is pretty much, I would say, quicker in terms of consistency around this track compared to Andy, so he may go for the lunge now, heading towards turn 1, but we got Andy who's not going to make it look easy. Nice defensive work from him as well, but I'm sure Vexit would like to have some DRS heading towards turn 4, which is what he's going to do. Top Tom could be in this fight as well. I think Vex is a bit too further back to get another lunge from Andy. So Andy pulling up all the stops to make sure everyone else stays behind him so he can be in a net P2. Yeah, he's in a net P2 at the moment. So he gained quite a bit from those pit stops just by doing the undercut. So yeah, if you're doing a Bahrain race, either in 50% or 100%, I surely recommend you go for the undercut. Because if you stay out even a lap later, you're going to lose a chunk of time, as we've seen with Vexit and Top Tom and lots of other drivers as well.
I also want to give a bit of a point out here that Yonti is doing such a good job right now of maintaining this pace. Yes, of course, Chenjay has pitted and came out in P1 again. Well, he's resumed back into P1 after all the overtakes. But Yonti's pace is just so good and consistent. He's staying with Hwenny, who is, I would consider to be a faster driver. But Yonti just looks to be able to do everything he needs to do to manage his ERS and keep it around about 50%. Also then staying within the DRS range of Hwenny. This is fantastic to see. Yonti, continue like this. I want to see you on the podium. I want to hear from you in the commentary booth.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see. We haven't seen him in the commentary booth for a podium in a long time, so it'll be nice to see him. It'll be great. We've seen a huge surprises this season with people in the commentary booth for the podiums, and they've been very, very delighted. Probably some of them weren't expecting it. Meanwhile, Danny Co's got a spin in turn 3. And has he got damage? Oh, it's hard to tell.
No.
He's pulling off to the side of the road. He's not very happy whatsoever, but...
Oh, I think he's got pedal failure.
Oh, yes, because he's... Otherwise, he would have
Can't
rejoined
stop
the
the car.
Track. That is an equivalent of a real-life mechanical failure, unfortunately, and that's not good for Danny Coates, so...
Oh, his pedal's working.
Yeah, or it might just been... No, it's not puncture, surely, is it?
No. Is his
A
brake pedal
throttle?
fail?
Can someone who's Jeff in Danico find out what's happening? Because we'll see what happens and we'll tell you once we know more.
I think he had pedal failure. It looked like he had no pedal inputs available to him at all. And now that his pedals are working again, it looks like he's just going to continue as he was. But he did a very good job there to get himself out of the way, make sure he didn't cause any impact to any of the drivers, and just keep himself alive. But yeah, technical difficulties there for Danico. That is a big F for him for sure. And yeah, last thing you want to see, Copy coming into the pits though. So he's going to be the first of the medium runners to blink, get himself off the tyres. And actually, look at Vexit already sizing up Andy, going in towards turn one. They're going to go into the braking zone. Big lunge there from Vexit. Andy will not fight back. He might go for a cutback, actually. Having said that, he's got the DRS available to him as well. He's got quite a fair bit of ERS this time around. He hasn't got DRS. Vexit manages to snatch DRS as well. And actually, watch out for Top Tom then, because Top Tom will see Vexit's gone through, and he will not want to be stuck behind Andy at all. Whilst Vexit is free, he will be able to pull some gap, pull some time away, and Andy will just get mobbed here by Top Tom.
Yeah, Vexit, I have to say, pulled off that move like it's no tomorrow as well. I think he waited until the detection zone so he can get that move, which I think is very, very smart for Vexit. So Vexit was able to keep Andy just behind as well. But yeah, Top Tom is definitely in danger right now if he doesn't get past Andy, because he saw that Vexit could do it. So maybe heading towards turn one on the next lap as we head towards lap 20 could be the best move as well. Copy was in the pits a moment ago. He started on the mediums, I believe, and now he's gone onto the soft compounded tyres. Interesting. I'm just going to check what I did. I did make notes about the strategy. And I thought you would go on mediums for like 23, 25 laps. So it's a bit too early to go on softs. But maybe he wants to do a medium stint at the end, maybe. Maybe he's going medium, soft, medium, which is not what I would have done. But anyway, Top Tom is going to line for a move on Andy then. We saw Vexit could do it. Let's see if Top Tom could do it heading towards turn one. I'm sure Vexit's going to try and cover off both of them. It's going to be very, very close between all three of them. Vexit is under a lot of pressure at this moment in time. Top Tom was very, very brave there. Top Tom does have the DRS. Vexit does not. Can Top Tom go for a move into turn four? No, not quite, but he's ever so close to Vexit there. But Andy is just losing so much time on both Vexit and Top Tom. It could be definitely podium over for Andy. He was a net P2, now he's a net P4, so what a shame for him. But Vexit now must be very, very worried. But Top Tom is on newer tyres, so that's probably why he's gaining an advantage here. His tyres are now warmed up and he's ready to go and ready to fight for this podium.
Yeah, on top of that, he just seems to be that little bit faster than those guys as well. And a great stuff to see from Top Tom, but, you know, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, Chen Jay is miles up the road. He's so far gone of anybody. There is no one close to him, and he's like he's just having a Sunday drive. Doesn't even strike me as somebody who's struggling to actually succeed here. So, yeah, well, we'll see. Vexit, yep, holding down what I assume is going to be net P2, although we are still waiting to see where these two, Ahweni and Yonti, come out when they do eventually finish their pit stop. Vexit has brought himself into the DRS range of Yonti, which is good news for him. It means now Top Tom's going to have a much harder time of actually fighting with these guys, and they'll continue as they have been. Yonti doing a much better job overall than I think anybody expected him to. It's not that he's a bad driver at all, it's just he's always played with some sort of unfortunate circumstance. He's right now, though, he's very close to the back of Ahweni. He could go for a move if he wanted to. There's no real benefit for him. I think he knows that. He's a very smart driver when it comes to this sort of stuff. So we'll see if he can keep himself out of trouble, out of harm's way. It looks like Yenab has had a bit of an issue. He's fallen right down to P10. His back end looks to be a little bit hot. In fact, his back end are in 100 degrees. He's still fighting with that car. Something is not working for him at all there. And he's now stuck behind a Renault who's about to break from the train.
Yeah, I think Top Jack got past him, I think, just after turn 4. They were going side by side for quite a bit as well, and Top Jack was a little bit more confident. So Yenab, not where we're used to seeing him down in P10, but still a long way to go for the Racing Point driver. And maybe he could potentially help his teammate as well, because there's still a Constructors fight on the line. Meanwhile, Hugo's is up into P11 after his spin earlier. So nice recovery drive from him so far as well. And Yonti's got to make the move now, because it's not going to be that long, a few laps time actually, before the medium runners who have been on since the start go into the pits. And Hweni actually proves my point wrong, and he goes into the pits. Ah.
Well, now this is really bad news for Yonti. This is really bad news for Yonti. He should really have followed him in, because he needed to make sure that when he was realistically the person who's going to help carry Yonti forward in this race. And now, for every second that he spends out on the track whilst 20 has gone into the box, is now going to be time that he will lose in comparison. So I suspect when Yonti gets into the pit lane and comes out again, I suspect he's not going to be in DRS range of 20 anymore. And now Yonti's race is now got a big, massive question mark around it. TopTop Vex, obviously, they're very keen, very eager. TopTop almost goes too eager and almost goes into the back of Vexit. We might see them get a bit scrappy when Yonti boxes, because there'll be no DRS available for Vexit. He'll have to just sit tight and continue his natural pace that he's got. Although TopTop looks like he's actually going to try a little bit early. He's got so much ERS available to him. I mean, Vexit's not exactly starved of ERS at all, but he's not really trying to go for a move on Yonti because he doesn't need to. But he's also kind of staring in those mirrors, panicking a little bit, and thinking about what TopTop will do on the home straight, because I suspect Yonti's coming in this lap. There's surely no way that he stays out. He is definitely backing this train right up even more. Jesper might even be able to get involved in this soon if it continues like this. Let's have a quick look on board with Yonti as he comes through the final corner. Is he actually going to go into the pit lane, or is he going to try and eke out another lap? I think it's probably not ideal. Yep, he's going into the pit lane. And we'll see where Hweni is relative to Yonti when he comes out of the pit box. But watch out for TopTop here. He's now released. Vexit will no longer have DRS after that turn 1. And yeah, now TopTop can fight.
Yeah, TopTop has the advantage now over Vexit. So if Vexit makes a mistake or he doesn't close into Chenjay, then TopTop could easily get the move. But meanwhile, I see a battle at the background with Top Jack and Samidia as well. There was a bit of damage there as well, a bit of a contact. I'm not quite sure who it was, but looks like looks like the Racing Point of some
Jesper.
Is Jesper. Yeah, so it's got Top Jack, Yenab, and Jesper. So I'm a bit confused on who I was following just for a moment, but yeah, it is Yenab and Jesper that were fighting Top Jack. But it looked like someone lost a bit of end plate there, so they were.
Yeah, it was Jesper who lost it right end plate.
Yeah, a bit of a shame, but if I was him, I would stay out for a little bit. Not much loss, but he's going to lose a bit of downforce, but not quite much. So he's not struggling too much, but he's going to lose probably a few tenths per lap, which could cost a lot in the long run. But we'll see what he could do. There's plenty of tyres available. If he has to go onto the hard tyres, then potentially he could, but we'll have to wait and see as the race goes on, of course. But that was some very major battling. That's what leads some idiot, though, who's going to chase down Andy now for P4. And TopTom still close enough to Vex. I think TopTom is going to get him this lap, you know, and this straight.
Right now. Yeah, exactly. He's got the toe. He's not even using ERS. I think Vex is also not putting up a fight because he knows, there's no point. We're just going to burn our own ERS here. We need to try and figure out a way to fight Chenjay. The gap is significant. 6 seconds is the gap between Chenjay and TopTom. Of course. Oh, no. Vexit.
Vexit got a penalty.
Why? That's so bad. This happened last week. Vexit got a big 3-second time penalty, and yes, he gets the fastest lap, and that's fantastic to see, but yeah,
that costed the race win last week. That costed the race win last week. He was going to fight last week, he said in the interviews, if he did have the penalty, so what was he going to do now over TopTom? Is Annie going to get past him? Is his negative mindset now going to hinder the progress of Vexit? He's just going to let that go, saying, I've got that penalty, let's move on. Let's see if I can get past TopTom now. That is my main focus, Vexit will probably be thinking now. That is what the ideal Vexit will be thinking right now. So we'll see if he does that. But that's given advantage to TopTom now. I think he's got P2 in the bag, unless Andy has something to do about it. But yeah, another race where Vexit has been hindered by penalties. I think he's going to be turning into an Andy, where he gets penalties every race, which I hope doesn't happen.
Yeah, that'd be very unfortunate. I mean, Vexit, usually somebody, when I've seen him race in the past, very consistent, very calm, very collected. He's incredibly quick. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, that penalty last week and the penalty this week has really hindered his big scoring point scoring chances now. Still P3 physically, and he's still probably going to take P3 overall, although Samidia is within this trend, and that's the biggest sort of worry that now Vexit has, is that, yes, of course, Andy's going to lose that position as well. That's fine. Of course, Vexit's going to lose the position to Samidia as it is, but he'll only lose one, and that's fine. He can take a 4th place. He'll still get him big, just not quite what he was initially hoping for in the end. But we'll see as we go further on in this race. We are not far off the halfway mark. I think, well, so lap 28 and a half is effectively where the halfway mark is, but we are only a couple laps away from that point. Again, they're going to see the pit stops start to lighten up again soon. The medium runners of Mateo and Danico, they're right at the back. They're praying for a safety car, but they'll be into box soon. Chenjay is 11 laps in. He's going to be going for quite a while before he even comes anywhere near the pits. And it's the soft runners probably. We might even see them all box at the same time, to be honest. Like the whole of the top 14 might decide to box relatively similar times. Maybe not copying Yonti, but we'll see. Yonti is through on Beaker. He's 1.9 away from Hweni. So like I said, if he'd have just followed Hweni in, he could have actually utilized Hweni's pace to pull him through and actually start gaining more and more on everybody ahead of him. But he has in fact fallen down to 1.9 seconds, and he has to try and utilize any pace he's got left to try and not necessarily close in, but utilize the traffic, because he's already down to 16% ERS, and that's not good.
Nope, it's not at all. And I wonder if he's gone onto the soft compounded tyre so he could try and find some pace on the rest of the field as well, and try and see if he can get into that points paying position as well. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Ben. I think he should have followed Hweni in, and probably he would have lost only a little amount of time as well, and he would have probably potentially tried to get past Hweni and maybe try to be near Assassin as well, because Assassin, don't forget, has got that time penalty. Danico, after 25 laps being on those medium tyres, goes into the pit and goes onto the soft tyres, and he's going to be doing a medium soft strategy, so we'll see how that does, and hopefully he could go on a recovery driver dreams. He's going to hope for a safety car, same for the likes of Mateo, Yonti. Basically, people outside the top 10 are going to hope for a safety car, and I think the ones that are not hoping for a safety car are the ones with penalties.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. Hweni now very quickly past Assassin. No fight there from Assassin. He is obviously on 14-lap-old soft, so it's kind of expected he's going to be dropping considerable pace, but also not wanting to put up any scraps. Again, Yonti needs to utilize this now and try and get past Assassin as quick as can be. The tyre wear, is kicking in quite quickly already. 88% remaining on the rear left is the lowest after 2 laps. So it doesn't take a genius to work that one out, though. That's quite a fair bit per lap on the tyre wear percentages. So he needs to be mindful of that. Try and eke out anytime he can. Oh, Assassin's gone into the pits. That's disaster for Yonti. He would have had a little bit of DRS to try and help close him in, which is exactly what Hweni got. So now Yonti's gap is just going to extend that little bit further. And there's nothing he can do about it. He's just got to sit tight and just try and gain it all back later.
I wonder if that was tactics for Assassin. I wonder if he knew that Yonti was fighting over Rwaggy, so he was like, you know what, I would go and pit now. So he's gone on to a set of softs as well, and then he'll probably go on to another set of softs at the end as well. So quite a mixture of strategies. Hardly anyone using the hards right now, which, to be honest, it is fair enough. If it's a one-stop race, the hards will probably be the majority of tyre choices for the final stint of the race as well. But it is a good race tire on 50%, but 100% race can have a bit of understeer problems, so that's probably why majority of people have not gone for it, and the delta is insanely high between the softs, mediums and hards, so that's a potential as well. But we are almost halfway into this race, and still all to play for in terms of, I would say, from around P2 downward as well, because it's not... Top Tom hasn't got P2 confirmed at the moment, so we got some idiot who could possibly chase down Top Tom if he could get past Andy and Vexit on track. I wonder if someone will be going for the undercut first and blink when they go onto a set of softs later, just so they could gain the time, because we saw how much time Chenjay has gained with the undercuts. Same with the likes of, say, Andy and some idiots. I wonder if the likes of Top Tom will be going for the undercut later on, knowing that the overcut did not work out for him.
Yeah, exactly. I actually want to point out as well, Chen Jie is losing a lot of time very quickly to Top Tom. He just lost a second over the pace of about 2 or 3 laps. Space was the word I was looking for. My brain is not working today. But yeah, about 3 laps overall, and he's lost about a second of time to Top Tom. Yeah, granted, it's probably not going to get him too much more, maybe a couple more seconds overall, but this shows that Top Tom is flying, and he's dragging this pack with him. Vexit is just hanging in there. He has a lot of ERS he can use, and he's going to close in a little bit. But Vexit is being too cautious on the ERS bar, I think. He's trying to conserve as much as he possibly can, which is very smart. But at the same time, he's dropping pace as a result. And knowing that Top Tom is very quick and is closing in quite nicely on Chen Jie, he needs to make sure he stays comfortably around about the 6 or 7 tenths mark to try and hold on to, realistically, a potential win here, despite the fact he's got the 3-second time penalty.
We have seen Top Tom get penalties at this stage of the race before in some of the Rwagnation League races we've seen, so it is not over until it's over. You never know, as we can see, Andy, all of a sudden, he is going forward tap mode on Vexit, side by side into turn 1. It looks like he was saving anyone in the race, at least decided, it was almost a bit of a love tap once again. To be honest, Andy is decided, no, I'm not going to struggle anymore. I found some pace. He's got like a second wind or something as he gets past into turn 4. No troubles there at the moment. It looks like Andy is on a comeback charge of dreams. Chen Jie is pitted onto the medium compounded tyre, so it doesn't look like he's going to be comfortable on the softs at the end. So I wonder if the others will probably have to follow suit.
Andy has just screwed Vexit so hard. By sending that attack in towards turn 4, Vexit has lost time considerably, and Andy has also lost the train to Top Tom. It was already on the margin, and now that Andy doesn't have any ERS to work with, he's got no way of closing in on Top Tom. So if Top Tom saw that Andy was now behind him, and also if he had a race engineer listening to him and giving him information, he would know that this is the time that Top Tom needs to dump a fair bit of ERS. If he could just pull away, gain a little bit more time, and build up even more of a gap, there is no way that like Vexit or Andy or even Samidia can get back into this and fight off without the need, without a safety car coming onto the field. So great stuff from Andy to make that overtake work. It was a really good, smooth overtake. Overall, in terms of the race plan, this hasn't worked at all for either of them. And all he's done there is just screw Vexit so hard. And Vexit is determined, desperate, and very much in need of getting his position back right here, right now. Here, it's already in full. He's already turned it off again. He needs to just go for the move, otherwise you're going to lose more time. You don't go for the send here. Not into turn 4. He backs out just in time. Vexit, you should have just kept your ERS button down, because now you've got no way of gaining P2.
And there's also another point to think about as well. Because he's been so cautious to try and get past Andy, there's one other driver to think about behind. Some idiot. He's gaining on Vexit, so it could be a danger of him losing P2, but also him losing P3 as well. And some idiot, he's going for the send the dreams into that braking zone. It looks like Vex was caught napping. They're still going to be going side by side as well. But Vexit decided, nap, you're not having that. But some idiot definitely responded to that. And I think he proved to Vexit that you have to start being more aggressive now, and that's what Vex is going to try and do now. I wonder if Vexit has lost a bit of time on Andy. He does now, but my oh my, some idiot almost gave me a heart attack, but he almost made that move stick. But unfortunately, he couldn't stick to the line, so some idiot stays P4, but that's probably woken up Vexit a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, definitely. A little bit, a lot, I think. But yeah, Andy, look at that 1.7 second gap now to Top Tom. He's lost so much time, and Vexit is also going to, well, I can't do anything now. What do? I just sit tight and enjoy the rest of this race? Pray for a safety car? Pray for some way for me to get rid of this gap that I've currently got? I don't know. There's no solution to this. Chen Jie, dominating his pace even further than he was before, has now managed to make it work on Hugo's. And I think the traffic is going to be crucial here. Now that Top Tom is obviously free, he's able to do what he wants here. He's able to just continue driving at his pace, and his pace was already very quick. Chen Jie is in an awkward predicament. He has traffic. If the traffic continues to hold him up, then you will find Top Tom will gain even more time. So don't be surprised if when Top Tom does get into the pits and comes back out again, that the gap is actually nowhere near as big as it should be. And also then towards the end of the race, Top Tom might be in the range to actually attack Chenjay.
Yes, exactly. And it looks like Top Tom, Andy and Vexit, pretty much to hold the top 7, they're not responding to Chenjay. So my strong suspicion is they're going to go for the soft tyres. It's no question about it. So potentially those 7 will potentially be fighting for the win of this race as Yonti gets past Hugo. Into the points goes Yonti at the moment. So well done to him as well. He made it look easy on those soft compounder tyres. Hugo's will need to pit very, very soon in about 8 laps time, I would say, for this. I don't know what tyres he will go on, really, actually. I haven't done the maths. Probably a set of softs or maybe another set of mediums, but we will see, of course, as Top Tom has stretched the gap to Andy a little bit as well. But this is going to be an interesting fight at the end as we got Jesper into the pits. I wonder what tyres he's going to go on for. It's a bit early to pit at this moment, but Chenjay gets past Hweni up into P7, so that is crucial now that he got past Hweni because of traffic now. If you lose time due to the traffic, I'm almost certain that Top Tom and Andy with the fresher sauce will potentially get past him on the final stints, because I know they're going to be very, very quick, but Chenjay has the most durable tyres, so we don't know how it's going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an easy overtake for Chenjay. He actually nearly screwed himself over and almost ruined Hweni's race as well there. He broke a bit too late, ran into the back of Hweni. There was a bit of contact, no damage on either car, but definitely a couple of brown stains in those boxes for both of those drivers, mainly Hweni. And actually, you could see the frustration from Hweni afterwards. He actually drove quite defensively coming down the home straight in an unnecessary fashion. I mean, you know, there was nothing wrong with what he did, just there was nothing to benefit from that other than sending a message to the other driver of that was not very nice, don't do that again. Well within his right to say as well. And yeah, Chenjay is through, of course. He is on those medium tires, 2 laps in. So he is going to start throwing in some quite quick pace. But look at Yonti. He has recovered beautifully off of this. He's managed to get himself back within the tow range almost of Hweni. He hasn't got very much ERS to play with. He's also been burning a hell of a lot of fuel. Hweni does have that little bit more ERS, but he's also got the same fuel warning problems that Yonti has got. So now all that needs to happen is there just needs to be a fight. And Vexit is actually fighting with Andy. Andy just turns in a bit too early, goes into the side of Vexit. No damage on his car, but that definitely would not have helped the situation at all. Vexit is clear, but DRS is available. No ERS being utilized from Andy, so he's just going to have to sit tight for now. Vexit back up into P2, but look at the damage that has caused. We're now down to 2.3 second gap between Top Tom and Vexit, and we're still yet to see them box.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's increasing for Top Tom. I think it's Top Tom's race to lose, I think, now, because with those fresher tyres later, I'm sure he's going to probably get past Chenjay, but Chenjay, I know, would never give up without a fight as well. So the question is Chenjay going to stay on the podium with him doing a different strategy to the likes of everybody else? Jesper's also done the same strategy as Chenjay. I'm a bit surprised on why Jesper pitted so late. That's what cost him last time with not pitting the same time as Chenjay did. Yeah, he's lost a chunk of time to the likes of Chenjay, so bit of a shame there, but we'll see how he does at the end of the race.
Is that Pika? Or is it Tristan?
I don't know.
It was Tristan. Tristan's having a really bad time right now. His back end is very hot, very lively.
Is the same thing happening to Danico?
I'm not sure. Danico is going very slow.
No. I mean, what's happening to Tristan now? Is it the same thing as happened? No, it's not. It's my imagination. Sorry.
I mean, Tristan is struggling, definitely. But yeah, Smitty in the pits. He's coming off those medium tires and onto fresh mediums. So he's now going to take these to the end of the race and hopefully to some high scoring points positions. But we need to keep firm eyes locked on the front area of the grid. Chenjay looking good on closing on Yenab. Yenab is actually already looking to attack Top Jack at the same time. But if Chenjay starts to get a bit leery, that fight could become quite disastrous and we could see some serious disasters for the drivers ahead. So keep eyes focused on this. We'll watch and see how this one pans out, but this could be pretty bad. Chenjay having a little look down the inside. Yenab is going to have to give him the space. He's just got a bit of a send down on him there, and Chenjay has got through, but that was so risky. Could have easily been damage for him. Well, keep an eye as he's going to probably go for a move in towards turn 11, which is this left-hander coming up in a second. And with the DRS available to him, he isn't using the ERS that he's also got. But look at the straight line pace that Chenjay has. He is so fast in a straight line.
Yeah, he is, Chenjay. To be honest, Chenjay is my driver of the day at the moment. He is on fire. Even a few people in the chat are saying Chenjay's doing very well as well. Top Jack's made a bit of a mistake as well. I was on board with Yenab at that very moment. So I think the pressure of Chenjay is getting to the other drivers right now. And if he can keep this up, then he could be on for some good points, even the win potentially as well, because I know some people will be going onto the softs at the end, but Chenjay is already catching up to these guys, and it's going to be very hard for the soft runners to even get near Chenjay. But we'll see as Top Jack is closing up. Chenjay got past Top Jack, I believe. Yep. And it's a very big DRS train as Copy goes into the pits. I think for a set of the mediums or another set of the softs. Mediums he goes on to.
Also to note, TopTom's lost a lot of time to Vexit. It was 2.3, I think it was, and now Vexit's brought it down to 1.8. So he's looking... I don't know if Vexit's just suddenly got really quick and feeling very aggressive, or TopTom has just suddenly lost a fair bit of pace overall. Maybe managing tyres, maybe stretching them a little bit more, maybe stretching them to go into softs for the end. We'll have to wait and see, but I can still assure you that, yeah, Vexit is under some real pressure to push, especially with Andy, who's behind him, still within DRS range. And we saw what he did last time, where he was just aimlessly shooting for a shot, and he did land a shot, but it was, well, pointless. He had no ERS to fight with afterwards. He couldn't really close the gap onto TopTom in the end anyway, so it was just really going for an overtake for the sake of going for an overtake, and overall didn't gain anything for it. Chenjay, though, P4 right now. 7.8 second gap to Andy.
So big points for AlphaTauri as well today. If Chenjay can keep this up, he's been delivering very well for the AlphaTauri squad as well. The team are very delighted with what he could do. I think we were very shocked with his performance in qualifying yesterday, but maybe he just likes the track. There's most people that have their favourite track. I'm almost certain Chenjay has this as his favourite track, as he's definitely on fire. But we've got Top Jack and Yenab fighting in the background. Yenab's got very, very close to Top Jack all of a sudden as well. Top Jack, I've got to say, has been performing very well this race so far as well. Probably going to get some decent points at the end of this race as well. But he knows Yenab is very, very quick. Same with Hueni as well. Yonti also in this train. So it's going to be about who has the right strategy and who has not at this moment in time. So yeah, 4 cars in the DRS train there. And then we got Copy that just made the move past Beaker into, I don't know where. It looks like turn, yeah, it is turn 1, I think.
So we got question marks around here. We've got these soft runners that are currently being set there for Hueni and Yonti. They are P7, P8 right now. I think overall they will, when they do box, they will be P7, P8 again. But I suspect that they're going to go onto some soft compound tyres for the end. Whereas these guys that are all ahead of them will probably box anytime now. I'm expecting TopTom to be the last one of all of these top 6 drivers to box. Obviously, Chenjay won't need to box again, but the other question mark is, will Chenjay be able to take the tyres to the end? They are going to be quite rough when he gets to the closing stages of this race, but I'm actually curious to see just how much pace Yonti and Hueni are going to have when they get onto those soft compound tyres. They will be very quick. We might actually see them sneak in a couple of position gains due to the penalties that Vexit and Andy have got. We might even see him get maybe a P4, maybe even a podium. I don't want to count my chickens, but it has happened in the past.
Should we get a prediction? Should we get a prediction on would Chenjay win the race with the tyres that he's on now? Should we get a prediction in?
Go on then. 1 second though, because Top Jack's actually going for Yenab. Yenab did go for a send on Top Jack, and the retaliation has come straight back at him. Top Jack is right back in there again into P5. And again, they are just losing so much time and pace here that they don't need to be losing. Yonti is on the back of this train as well. He's kind of hanging in here. He does need to try and find a way past both of these medium runners, because these softs they'll be about the same pace as the mediums ahead of them, but they look like they actually have better natural pace anyway. So we'll keep an eye on this. Yenab does seem to be getting a little bit more aggressive now on this stage of the race, but I think this is a bit too late in the race to do so.
Yeah, I've just had found out a bit of data whilst you were talking. Mediums can last 29 laps, and we've had a bit of information from Racing Point's Jeff. They use 2.61% tyre wear per lap, so, and he thinks that Chenjay is going to be on the mediums for 28 laps, so he'll just get to the end, but he's going to lose so much pace at the end that the optimum pace will probably be lost at lap 25, 26 or so, 26 laps. So it's going to be close. Yonti's going to go for the move potentially on Rwaggy then. He's been on fire. He's on the softs, but he's on fresher softs. Yenab's also going to go for the move on Top Jack as well, all in the same corner. Looks like Top Jack's still going to go side by side as well. Yonti could play a backseat in all of this. He's probably going to be the patient person at the moment. We've got Yonti that's going to go for it. Side by side. Is he going to go for a triple overtake? Boy, it was too good to be true there, but that would have been brilliant for Yonti there. Yonti has probably been driving the day so far, as well as Chenjay. He has never given up as well. He started low down the grid, and now he's up into P8, but don't forget, he's going to be pitting. I don't know when he's going to pit, but Danny Kerr, unfortunately, has retired in the pits. It is to be expected. He was struggling today, so what a shame. But Yonti, he could definitely be on for a top 5 finish if he keeps this up.
He's playing with my heartstrings. I can't handle this anymore. I mean, I think he actually might even be able to sneak in a podium here, potentially. I don't want to jinx him. I don't want to call anything out. But if he continues at the pace that he's got currently, with the consistency he's got currently, he is going to be on track for at least a top 4. This is fantastic to watch. So, Yonti, you do have to maintain the smart brain that you've had so far. Yes, you've been quite aggressive, which is good to see. But you do also need to now look after yourself, look after that ERS more than anything, because he did have quite a considerable amount this time last lap, but look at him now, 20%. He was more than double that earlier on. Chip Vexit is into the pits, Hwenny's into the pits, Yonti into the pits as well. He's listening this time. He knows whatever Hwenny does, you must do as well. This is going to be bonkers.
This is going to be a fantastic last 27 laps of this race. People, watch this space. Actually, no, I've probably done maths wrong, but there we go, 17 laps. I don't know. Apologies, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a great last half of the race, let's just say. But I like Bahrain due to the fact that it has crazy strategies, all these overtakes that goes out of nowhere, and it's a track where people could take more risks as well. So, game on, I would say. Because Vexit with that undercut, I'm a bit wide for Top Tom right now.
Did anyone see Hwenny's pit exit? Is Tomek on the track? It looked like it to me with that cross of the white line.
Oh.
luckily, we don't penalise.
We're not that strict.
I mean, it would be a bit. If the game doesn't penalise it, we don't penalise it. But yeah, that was a bit sus, shall we say? But yeah, watching out now for this battle for P4 effectively. So it's Yenab, Top Jack currently as they sit. Them two are still scrapping as they have been before, but Yenab is now ahead, of course. But the penalties, the tire situation is looking very good for a couple of individuals. One of those in particular is Hwenny. He's very quick, already on the back of another Haas driver, and this is where Jesper and Yonti could actually work together here. If Jesper does slow Hwenny down just a little bit here on the straight, because Hwenny's going to want that DRS. He's not going to want to go for it just yet. This is where Yonti should use the slow speed that Jesper could put down to allow him to get right up to it, and that's exactly what's happened. Look at this. Now he's got to worry, because actually he got a pretty poor exit there. Hwenny got a fantastic one. Huge slipstream here for Yonti, getting right past Jesper, straight back into the slipstream of Hwenny. He's actually going to look for an overtake right in towards turn one. A fantastic send between the two of them. Really good run. They are wheel to wheel. Yonti did give him sufficient space, and he did actually give it maybe a little bit too much, but that's not going to stop him. He's going to go once again in the run up towards turn 4. We have him back on the inside. Attack from Yonti. This is the stuff you love to see. Hwenny maintains momentum through turn 4. I think overall this still favors Yonti. They are consistently wheel to wheel. They are not backing out of this. Hwenny might actually hold on. He has. Oh my word, what a fight between the two of them.
Here comes Top Jack around the inside of Yonti. This is going to be absolutely insane. That is just crazy what Hwenny has done defending like that. Well done to him as well. Now going to the heavy braking zone as well. Yonti's got Jesper, and Hugo's also in this train as well. Hugo's on the softs as well, so I'm sure Hugo's going to get past Jesper anytime soon. Let's see if we can follow Hugo's. Going side by side into turn 12 as well. Andy goes into the pit lane as well. That relieves Chenjay a little bit as well. So I wonder if Top Tom wants to go for fastest lap later on as well, because he's going to lose quite a chunk of pace. Yenab is now up into P3 at this moment in time as well. This is some very good battling. Please don't tune out of this stream, because the battles are not over, I have to say as well. I still don't know who's going to get podiums or even like positions at this race, because this could help them in terms of if they get a top 10 overall in the standings, which will probably help them race next season if they wanted to as well. So here comes Top Jack. Is he going to go for a lunge into turn 1? No, he does not. As someone's gone off, that's Jesper. He lost it a little bit, actually. I think he ran too deep. I usually run too deep around there and get a bit confused. So anyway, Hugo almost went for a lunge there as well. Hugo's on fire. He could be on for points in this race. There's a little bit of a tank slapper from Jesper. I think there may be a bit of contact from Hugo's there as well, but we don't know. It's not up to us. It's up to the stewards. But Hugo's, even despite the troubles he's had earlier on, he's definitely still on a good fight as well. He'll probably still be enjoying this. He can still be on for some good point in this race. Don't forget, he's got no penalties to his name, so I wonder how many warnings he's got. But we have some few predictions in the chat as well. I don't know who's going to do it, but we've got Vexit 1.2 seconds behind Yenab at the moment. Top Tom is going to be in the pits, and then Yenab will probably follow him in very soon, or does he? Yeah, Yenab goes in as well. So that's everybody, I believe, that's done their stops, but apart from Assassin, who I believe Assassin will need to pick one more time. But apart from that, everyone else has done their stops, which should make them to the end of the race.
Watch out for where Top Tom comes out here. So he will actually just be ahead of Andy, who's also on quite new softs as well. I don't think there's that tyre. He's definitely boxed a lap early, so he's done at least one lap on them, which is bad news bears for him. Yenab falling right down the order due to how close everyone is bunched up right now. I mean, the train from P7, which is currently being led by Rwaggy, is quite large. This is where we're going to see the pressure start to form, because he has no DRS to utilize. He has got a relatively decent amount of ERS to protect himself with, but he has a lot of cars that are hungry for positions. Hugo's won last week, remember, in Zandvoort. He was incredibly quick and consistent. Yonti, who seems to have caught fire today, he was very quick in Zandvoort, but did kind of get screwed over a little bit due to his wheel disconnecting, which is a big F for him. But it looks like Bahrain is redemption. This is exactly what we want to see from Yonti. Top Jack actually finding a fair bit of pace here. We haven't seen this amount of pace from him in quite a while. It's just the fact that he's stuck in this train. He doesn't know where to go, doesn't know how to tackle it. Top Tom being where he is concerning, because remember, Vexit was behind Top Tom, but Vexit has boxed that a little bit earlier. And now Top Tom is free to chuck down crazy lap time pace. We have to just see how much that craziness is by.
Yeah, 4 people that could potentially win at this race, which is very, very exciting as well. I wonder if Vexit's going to do enough to close in on Chenjay, but even that, Vexit will need to find 3 seconds on Chenjay, which is a tall order at this moment in time. The predictions are now closed for is Chenjay going to win this race, so I wonder how the predictions are looking at the moment, as Assassin, like expected, goes into the pits for a fresh set of soft tyres. He's going to go for glory at the moment, but oh, this is going to be too close to call, I think. If one person just makes a slight mistake, it could throw the whole race on its head, and someone else just got a penalty. That's Winnie!
Yep, Winnie just put his podium chances in the bin. I mean, he had an opportunity for a podium here. That's the main thing to remember. He could actually have potentially got that, but now that 3 seconds has really put him at a real risk here. He's going to get his defensive elbows out pretty hard. You got Top Tom and some idiot having a bit of a swapperoonie of positions there, and this is for physical end position. So some idiot losing out to Top Tom there is going to be a problem. Obviously, they are on soft tires, and they are going to be very quick. In fact, Andy's through as well, so some idiot's actually losing so much as a result of this. Granted, he'll still gain the position on Andy, but he's not within Vexit's penalty range. As it sits, he's going to finish at best P4 unless he can magic out some sort of crazy pace to help carry him forward. It seems the softs at the instant were absolutely massive. We'll have to monitor that going forward. So, Top Jack, who knows that when he has a penalty, doesn't have to necessarily overtake, but probably will go for it regardless, especially knowing that he's actually under a lot of pressure from the drivers behind, one of which is Yonti, who's also kept himself clean and so far has no penalties. But he does need to get his skates on. He has to get a move on if he wants to try and take P6 away from Top Jack.
Yes, indeed. And I have to say, with some idiot struggling right now, he's still going to struggle at the end of the race compared to the likes of, I would say, Wenny and Andy potentially as well that could struggle. But with somebody being on the durable tyre, that may help him at the end. But again, we'll have to wait and see, as somebody that's been on those medium tyres for considerably less time than the likes of Chenje and Jesper as well, that's been on for quite a bit of time. So it's not over for some idiot, but it's going to be a lot harder to recover, as the delta is significantly massive on the softs compared to the mediums. Now, we've got 6 drivers who have time penalties as well, which will help some people but may not help others. And yeah, if I were Top Jack, I would get the move done anyway, because then I could start to reel in on the likes of some idiot, because he knows that the soft tyres are significantly faster as well. But Hugo's could be winners. Hugo could get, I would say, P8 out of all of this due to Wenny's penalties. So game on, and maybe Yenab could gain out of all of this as well. Yenab usually keeps it clean on track limit penalties anyway. Usually the only penalty he gets are speeding in the pit lane penalties or safety car penalties. So here comes Hugo then. This time, he knows he's got more ERS compared to the likes of Yonti. Side by side then, Yonti's not going to back out without a fight. That's relieved Top Jack just a little bit, but I'm sure the pressure's going to be on Top Jack very, very soon as Hugo makes the move. Or Willie going towards turn 4. Can he make the lunge he's looking for? It's wheel-to-wheel race, and this is what we like to see in the Rwagnation League. Hugo gets it. Hugo's up into P8.
Fantastic move from Hugo. I mean, it was very touch and go, but he did manage to get it done, and more crucially, stays within the tow range and DRS range of Top Jack and Hwenny. So that's very, very important coming into this. Does have to worry about his DRS a little bit. He has burnt a fair bit, but obviously being in the train is still just as useful for managing that, because now he could just relax a little bit, use the DRS, just carry on pushing the way he already has been, and charge that battery right on up. We've not had a safety car so far this race. Matteo was hoping he'd get one, but he has just set the new fastest lap. That is a 126.8. And I want to also point out, Top Tom was the previous fastest with a 127.1. Chenje, your race leader, with the fastest lap he's done so far, a 128.9. So,
wow.
With that in mind, Top Tom is flying. He's closing in so quickly. But the gap is 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds between them. Vexter is also lapping around about the same pace as Top Tom, just about a tenth or so slower, which is where Vexter is actually showing, well, I could actually get well within range of Chenje. The only question is, does Vexter have enough pace within him to not just pass Chenje physically on track, but also build 3 seconds of gap in order to ensure he takes that race win? It's going to be very tight, I reckon. And I mean, there's already a question mark around whether or not Chenje's tyres are going to be in a good shape towards the end of this Grand Prix. It's just, again, what does Vexit do here? This is going to be so good to watch, but I'm watching Top Jack because he is so close to the back of Hwenny. And I think when it comes to that long straight in towards turn 11, we might be seeing a bit of a swapperino of places.
Watch out for Hugo's as well, because again, he is another driver who is on fire tonight as well. If he didn't have that mistake earlier, I think he would have been challenging for the win. I'm almost certain of it, because of his incredible lap times on those softs as well. And again, he's not making the moves he's looking for right now, but he's saving a bit of life to make sure he gets the moves at the end, so his tyres are probably more optimum as well. So yes, Hugo doing another incredible job. Top Jack as well. Some really stellar performances right now, with Rennie as well has gained quite a lot, but again, he's got that 3-second time penalty to worry about as well. So the gap between Vexit and Chenje now, 5.1 seconds, and it's continuing to fall by the second. It could be within that 4-second margin very, very soon, but I think Chenje knows that Vexit's pushing, so I wonder if Chenje would be pushing as well with the durable tyres. 17 laps of the medium tyres he is on. Let's see if we could see Yonti potentially gets past Hugo. Oh, Hugo covers off Yonti very, very nicely there into turn 1.
Yeah. The train is actually just extended a little bit, because now Yenab is in this as well. So it could literally jumble around at the last second. I think the final few laps here are going to be crucial when it comes to these standings. A lot of people could gain out of this and could also lose out of this, depending on even just one small mistake. Imagine if you're Hwenny, right? You've got that 3-second time penalty. You're going from P6 physically to P10 at best. That's how bad a penalty right now it could be. So, if Top Jack gets one, or Hugo's, or Yonti, or even Yenab, that's a lot of places that can be lost, or places that you would have gained no longer gain. So I'm looking at these guys to see who can remain the most consistent, who can remain very strong here, and just overall keep this pressure on the other drivers around them. Matteo has retired. He's gone into the pit lane and said, yep, that's enough from me. I am donezo. I cannot go any faster, but I did set the fastest lap, So that's at least 1 point that our teammates are not going to be getting, and especially when your teammate is Chenje, who's currently leading this Grand Prix, that could be very crucial. Continuing on, we have a yellow flag sector 3, but that is obviously for Matteo, who has been into the pits and is retired, so he will no longer be continuing in this GP. The gap is actually slightly extended there for Yanab. He's not quite as close as he wanted to be, whereas Yonti very close to the back of Hugo's, who's very close to the back of Top Jack, who's also very close to the back of Hwenny, and I'm expecting to see an overtake soon. He needs to get a move on if he wants to go for, if he wants to protect himself. I think the longer he stays behind Hwenny, the worse this is going to be for him, because he's just struggling right now for to defend. Yes, he's got the pace he needs. He's got a lot of ERS to burn away, but if he doesn't get past 20 soon, he's going to be in a real bad place.
Yeah, well, I think so as well, and it's going to be huge if Vexit gets past Chenje, and maybe Top Tom could get past Vexit as well, but never say never. Top Tom is almost within that range of potentially getting the win of this race if Vexit could get past Chenje. And that could be huge for Top Tom. It's 3.7 seconds. He's got to find 7 tenths, and then Top Tom could be on for P2 right now, but I know he wants the race win eventually anyway. This has thrown out so many possibilities, scenarios as well, which is giving Jess plenty to think about as well. Yanab is right on the back of this 2 tenths behind the likes of Yonti, Hugo, Top Jack and Hwenny. That train is still fighting on at this moment in time. Forget about the battle for the lead at the moment. This is what we want to watch out. The battle for P6. This is getting very intense at the moment.
Pika just span going through turn 12, but we need to go back to this battle for P6 effectively, because it looks like Top Jack has already done on Hwenny. Bit of contact between Hugo's as well. It actually stopped him from getting a really good smooth exit here. Hwenny gets a little bit of a nudge, which is giving him a tiny bit more momentum than necessarily one before. But we've also got Yonti now looking for Hugo's going in towards turn 4. He's backed out just a little bit, but that means that Hugo's is going to go deep. Suddenly Yonti might be able to get the overdrive he needs out of that corner to try and gain alongside. He backs out once more because he knows it's a bit too risky to go for any sort of attack there. You're going to lose necessary time that you don't need to lose, and that's actually going to cause you to potentially run out of a chance of getting a P6. So Yonti's still looking at the bigger picture, running out of time though, but he has to get a move on.
Yep, he does. I think everyone has got to get a move on out of the ones on this DRS train, because if they got penalties, then the danger is they're going to be out of the points paying position. So I think we could see a lot of people potentially getting penalties in these final few laps if they push too hard and get a warnings in the space for a few laps, which is you don't want to happen. We see Andy got it earlier on as well in the space of a short amount of time, so hopefully it doesn't happen to any one of those drivers. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to unfold. Top Jack now in a comfortable position to get P6. Anyway, there's no way I don't think he's going to get P5, but still P6. I think he'll be very, very happy with that as well. But I wonder if Hugo's going to go for the move now, knowing that Hwenny's got a penalty. I would. 3 tenths now is the gap between Hugo's and Hwenny. So is he going to do the moment he's looking for? Top Jack, I think, does not want to give Hwenny any slipstream at all, which is what I would have done anyway. And I think that will help Hugo's out a bit.
So Hugo's, I think, is realistically watching this ahead and kind of hoping that Top Jack doesn't run away. Because if he can maintain this gap for now, he doesn't actually have to charge for an overtake just yet. He's going to try and recharge his battery, make sure that when he does get the maneuver locked in, he's going to have enough ERS to then still secure the train to Top Jack, and actually then he can get ready again, because we're running out of time. We only have 7 laps to go after this one's completed, and that's kind of the do-all and be-all for this race, realistically. If you make any mistakes here, look how condensed this train is from P6 onwards to P10, that, you know, one slight mistake could backlog the whole train, and suddenly somebody's just going to run away with it scot-free. So you do not want to be that person that makes that mistake. You do not want to be that person that loses out, but you want to be that person who gains big at the end of it. In terms of tie wear, it looks like, you know, Yanab is looking really good. Yonti 63%, 62% there for Hugo's, 59% there for Hwenny, who's not looking particularly fantastic, and Top Jack, who's only on a lap fresher tires, 65%, a bit of a wobble on the exit. Watch out here for a bit of a gap closer. I think if this continues, when he might actually go for a send in towards turn 4. We also want to watch out for Hugo's, who's burning everything when he goes defensive, actually looking for the same time to go for an overtake on Top Jack. And actually, Hugo's going around the outside here in towards turn 1, has to back out again. This will allow Yonti to potentially get a fight going on here. He's not using the ERS because he hasn't got much to use. He's turned it back on again, but he's then had to turn it straight back off again. Hugo's just kind of getting out the toe to make sure he didn't run into the back of Huni. A damage, I think, on the front end of the Ferrari. And that is now going to be some serious disaster for him. I think it's only element damage if he has any, but I heard a thud. That sounded to me like there was significant damage there. Yeah, Yonti tried to cover it off, and that's actually going to cause him. Look at this. The gap is extending. Yenab does have ERS to push himself forwards, but because they're still side by side throughout all of this, this is only going to make it worse. Do not continue this fight. One of you has to back out. Finally, Yonti has backed out, and they're still within the DRS train. But that could have gone horribly wrong. And look at race leader. He's under threat. It's a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car has been called for Beaker retiring.
That's changed things massively for the VSC. I was hoping it'll be a safety car. That would have been shaken up a bit more. And yeah, that's thrown a lot of spanners in the works here. I hate VSCs around there. It's ruined my races quite a few times around there. So they just got to keep it in full order. I wonder if some people would take the option of going into the pits. I think a majority of people went past the pits anyway, and they would rather have track position rather than gaining. And Vex has gained quite a bit under the VSC, so I think that's helped him, the VSC, I think, for Vexit. But we'll see what happens. We don't know when the VSC is going to come to an end right now, but...
Oh, there we go. We're gone. We're away. We're already going again. So this is crucial. So bear in mind, Vexit needs to not just pass Chen J, he also has to build a 3-second gap. His tires are getting absolutely crucified right now, and that's the worst case scenario for him. So there will be no resisting when it comes to going for a send from Vexit. He has to just commit and cannot afford to back out at all. He did get a little bit of a recharge of the battery there, but that virtual safety car has kind of held Vexit's hopes and dreams down and back a little bit, because he really needs every single second he gets to try and gain even more and pull away. So watch here as we come onto the final corner. We are going to be seeing a little bit of a chance being available to him. A yellow flag sector 2. That is a Red Bull off the track. That is Copy, who span off, and he's coming back on again. But I want to go back to Vexit because, look, he overtake in full mode. He's going all in here on Chen J. He's got the DRS. He knows he's gained enough here. He's chosen that interesting line there. Chen J was going to lose a position no matter what. Vexit is through, but now that he's done here, we have to keep an eye on that gap. Can he get to 3 seconds? Yenab, though, on the back of all of this, Yonti did lose out to Yenab before the virtual safety car was called, and now we're going to see Yenab get very aggressive on Hugo's.
I think we could have another race on our hands as well, and if Vexit could pull the gap that he needs, then it'll be a very good victory, as we've got Yenab, who's going to try and get... Oh my goodness, what have I just witnessed at this moment in time? We could see a four-way fight for P6 once again. And Hugo's fair play to him for defending from Yenab at this moment in time, but I'm really excited how this is going to unfold as well. Unfortunately, Jesper's not in that train. His tyres is nowhere near enough, but the likes of Yonti is still in that fight as well. Yonti could be getting points, which he will be at the moment, but it's not over until it's over. Copy is going into the pit lane, and is he going to give up? And yeah, he has. I thought he would have gone on softs to possibly get fastest lap, but no, he's not going to take any chances. He's a little bit too further behind, but it's a bit of a shame. Both Red Bulls are now out of this race.
So we'll see how this one goes. We are running very low on laps now. We only have a few to go, and this is going to be very important how this one pans out for a fair few drivers. Yonti, the one in particular right now, seems to be really struggling. I don't know if it's like he's lost his rhythm suddenly since that virtual safety car. The pace is still there. He's still within DRS range of these guys ahead, but Yenab is looking so much more feisty, and so are the two drivers ahead. Top Jack obviously sat P6 right now. This is fantastic for him, and this is realistically the best he's going to get right now, unless there's some sort of mistake that happens further upfield. But keep an eye on Yenab, because he's got full ERS overtake mode on. Hugo's went defensive last lap. They did the same thing here, but now Yenab on the inside coming into the braking zone for turn 1. He is going to be deep diving into the corner. There was a bit of contact last lap. This lap, it seems to be much more tidy, but again, he gets forced off to the edge of the circuit there, and he hasn't got any ERS to really fight with. Yonti needs to capitalize on this now. He cannot sit tight any longer. Yenab having to look down the inside, and that scares Hugo's enough to run wide. Again, no real chance of an overtake from Yenab, but the ERS is being absolutely destroyed from these drivers. Yonti, where are you? Get in this, mate. Get in this.
I want to see Yonti in this. I'm sure the whole chat will want to see Yonti in this because he needs the good luck to come on his side. And if he gets those moves done, then to be honest, I would throw a party and celebrate right now. But obviously, yeah, I need to remain impartial. Yes, but yeah, I think with some drivers having bad luck this season, it's always nice to see people that finally have good luck come to them and really start to pick up the pace, which is what Yonti is doing. You never know; there could be the guys in front of him that could just throw off the edge of a cliff, and he could be the one that could be P6. You never know. Strange things have happened. We don't have that long to go until the end of the race, and unfortunately for you Vexit fans, I don't think Vexit would do enough to get past to get the 3-second gap, because Chenjay, unless he gets a penalty, is on for this race win.
Well, hold your horses on that one, because if you also look at TopTom, he's actually closing in very quickly onto Chenjay. It's only 1.7 seconds. There's nothing too significant there. He's actually broke even further into that. So, yes, we're running very low on laps, but as soon as he gets into that range, he could actually go for a bit of a send, a bit of a deep dive yeet. TopTom might still get this. Chenjay's tires are going to be pretty shot now, so he's not really going to be able to chuck too much pace in. I mean, TopTom's is not going to be that much better, but they will still be better, and that bit is what is going to make the most difference when it comes down to it. Again, Yenab and Hugo's, they're still giving that same scrap that they had earlier. It is, of course, still Top Jack who's loving life up at the front, and of this little train at least, and we need to just make sure that they continue keeping it as clean as they have been. Lots of mistakes are starting to form now because everyone's realizing, you know, this is a very long race overall, but they're realizing now that their tires are very, very bad. Their whole bodies are going to start to ache a fair bit from how long this can be, and this is so good to watch and maintain. I mean, Chenjay is actually looking for Vexit here. Look, he's actually got the maneuver done already. He's taken the race lead back, and now I think he's realized TopTom is coming. You have to go. You cannot sit tight any longer. And what does TopTom do to retaliate? Well, you'll have to wait and see over the next 2 laps, because we are on lap 56 of 57. We're running out of time for TopTom to make this work, but he is within DRS range of exit, and I guarantee you he is going to have a lot of pace to throw down here.
Time just fly by when you're having fun, and I was speaking earlier on why Chenjay potentially went for the mediums, because he was really slow, I would say, when he got past, when Vexit got past him, but now with him being, the delta being more in his favour, then that's helped him a little bit. And I think due to the fact that the softs are pretty much almost at their sell-by date, then Chenjay's on the faster tyre right now. 20 gets past Top Jack into turn 4. They're still going to be side by side once again. This is going to be very tense indeed. I know Huani's got penalties, but he's never going to give up without a fight. And I have to say that midfield fight is still not over. How are these guys still fighting like that? They've been fighting throughout the majority of the final stint, which is absolutely amazing, I have to say as well. And TopTom is going to take the advantage now and getting past Vexit, because you know what?
Yonti's going to go for a move.
Yonti, side by side, it's DRS straight. Is he going to do it? Nah, not quite. Sorry.
It's so good to see that Yonti's now finding the feistiness within, and we are on the final lap. Look at TopTom. He knows what he's got to do, but I don't think he's got quite enough pace within him to do so. He's closing in very quickly. We do still have a few more DRS zones to go, and there's Vexit just losing a little bit of control through that turn 1, and that's allowing TopTom to go. Look, that mistake from Vexit is enough. That is going to give TopTom all of the space and pace he needs. He needs to get braked really late into it, got so deep into turn 4, but he has secured that position. He's now outside of the 1-second margin here. This is the real problem. Look at Top Jack as well and Hueni. They are going at it one more time. Hueni goes deep into turn 1. This is allowing Hugos to get involved in the fight as well. This is far from over, and I honestly don't see how TopTom is going to close in enough to be able to go for a send, because Top Jack and Hueni are scrapping further down the field as well. You've also got Hugos who's ready to go for an outside maneuver, but he's actually going for a cutback. This might work out huge here for Hugos. There's contact between them. They're definitely rubbing wheels. Yenab is involved in this fight as well. We are I can't see how this is going to pan out because this is just going to be insane all the way through here.
These highlights are going to be long at this rate, I have to say, but it's all down to these drives as well. And is Hugo going to go for a send here? He's going to try at least. He's going to have another look. And look at this. Yenab as well is also in this fight. Yenab is going to probably do a Hulkenberg see you later at the minute. So he's going to try and get past into the final DRS zone of this lap potentially. And let's see, yes, Yenab definitely had a good traction on that corner, and he's up into P8. And with all this battle, I didn't see Chenjay cross the line. I'm so sorry, Chenjay, but he wins the race.
Yeah, very good drive from Chenjay. It was very touch and go there for a second. Actually, he needs to give a bit of credit to Vexit for holding that fight back, but we need to continue watching this fight a bit further back. Hugo's and Yenab, they're going to be scrapping all the way through. Oh, no, a bit of a cut there. No, there's contact. Yenab gets rotated. He's off into the wall. It's a huge disaster. Hugo's has stopped because he knows what he did was, I know, it wasn't intentional, but that has completely destroyed Yenab's race and put him down into P10. Yenab is livid. But Hugo's will give that position back to him. Oh, my word. That couldn't have been a more dramatic finish if he tried.
That means Yonti's P7. Yonti's P7 out of all of this. Fair play to Yonti, but Hugo's a really good sportsmanship thing to do. He knew he messed up, and to avoid him getting a much bigger penalty, or even a penalty at all, he just let Yenab pass, which is a good thing to do. That's what I would do if I'd done things wrong. I'd just let them pass. So, great for him, but Chenjay did well. Yonti did well as well. Top Jack as well, being the lead of that train as well as Hwani. A lot of people did well today as well, and fair credit to them. And we've still got 2 more rounds to go after this one. I don't want this season to end. This is absolutely fantastic.
I told you before this race started that this was going to be an incredible race. It just always delivers. Every time we come here, it always delivers. And it did. Right the way from the beginning, right the way through to the end. But Chenjay does secure the win. He did start on pole, but he was very close towards the end. Top Tom did lose out in the end. I mean, he gained still 2 places. He's still P2, which is fantastic for him. But yeah, Vexit getting the 3rd step of that podium there. That penalty did kind of stop him, stop any chances he had of being able to take a win here or even a P2. But, you know, still a good drive from him regardless. Did kind of get hindered back by a little bit by Andy, who finished P4, who went for a bit of a send on Vexit, caused them both to lose DRS, and yeah, it did really hinder him quite considerably. But Smitty at P5, good result from him. Top Jack P6, Yonti getting himself a P7 there. Hweni P8, Yena P9, due to the contact that he had with Hugo's going in through the final corner. Yeah, obviously Hugo's did give that position back, but it was a big oof, to say the least. So Hugo's does get the final point for his troubles. And yeah, what a race that was. Fantastic. Let's go and hear from the drivers who got themselves onto the steps of the podiums. We'll start in P3, which of course was Vexit. So let's go drag his beautiful hiney in here. There we go, Vexit. Hello, how are you? P3.
Annoyed.
I imagine I know what you're annoyed at, because you were looking like you could potentially fight for a win here, but an individual overtook you and caused you both to lose DRS.
Yeah, that is true, Andy, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw it immediately. I called it out. I said straight away that as soon as he went for that, I said all he's done there is just screw Vexit hard, because there's nothing to gain there. Going for the overtake, he's just going to lose everything. He had no ERS there. It was only going wrong, and now finally the notification system works, but I don't know what it said.
Oh, nice.
Typical.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously the move did cost us both. But then once I got back past Andy, I did seem to have pretty good pace. Closing up to Tom right before the stop, which I mucked up badly. I boxed too early, tires were shot at the end, had no grip, and I couldn't keep 3 seconds because of my earlier exploits. So, yeah.
There is one thing I want to just touch on, though. There was a point there where you had a lot of ERS. This is right before Andy went for the send on you, literally the lap before. You had a lot of ERS. You had a lot of control in the race. You could have actually used that to close in the gap, because you were sat on around about 9/10 already between you and Top Tom. And I think you could have actually gone for not necessarily an overtake, but closure, and actually secured yourself that position a little bit more. Do you think that was a mistake on your part, or?
Yeah, I was just napping. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just like, I think on my stream, you'd be able to hear me say, "Oh, Andy's going for a move." I was just surprised. I didn't expect him to go for anything, and yeah, that was just me sleeping halfway through the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was ultimately in the end. I think I get why you tried to do it because I guess from his perspective, if there is a fight between the two of you, then there will be a significant difference. But yeah, it is. It is an oopsie. I do need to just quickly touch on the stewards have been in touch to say that Hugo's receives a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Yanap on lap 57. And actually, that's the only penalty we've had to hear from the stewards the entire race. So that's fantastic. Really good job there from all the drivers. But yeah, P3 is still nothing to be angry about. You've had a really good result today. Your pace was incredibly good. Do you think that this is something we're going to see for the final two races from you?
Hopefully. What are the other ones? Russia and Brazil, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. I don't like Russia, but I seem to have good pace at it, so we'll see. And Brazil, I just love to drive. It's a great track, but could be better made by Codemasters. But yeah, if Chenjay keeps having such amazing pace as he did today, GG to him. I was in voice chat and it was like he wasn't even pushing and he just had amazing pace. So yeah, it will be very hard to keep up with him, but I'll do my best.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you can deliver next week. But I do need a prediction from you before you go.
For Russia,
Yep,
qualifying or race or both?
both.
Okay, qualifying second because Chenjay is going to get pole because he's a mad lad. Race, many penalties. The winner will be whoever gets the least penalties. Probably not me. I'll be like third or something.
I'll still take a podium. That's decent enough for me. I'll take that. All right. Well, congratulations on the P3, and I look forward to seeing you get your race win again next week. Right?
I said podium, but yeah,
Race win.
if
All
that's
right.
what
Cool.
if that's what you'd like to,
Optimistic Raggy he is.
yeah, if you'd like optimistic, are you saying I'm slow?
A little bit.
But yeah, I'll do it especially for you.
All right. I appreciate that.
And see you for Among Us.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. Hop in the room. We'll drag you in a minute.
Gonna go in cooldown room and chat with some of the other drivers for.
Oh, well, I'm going to drag two of those drivers out there in a sec. So
All right.
enjoy. All right.
Alright. Wait.
Cheers. Bye.
Oh. Okay.
Dr. Tom. Hello.
Pain.
Suffering. P2 though, still a good result from you. Do you think there was anything you could have done better there?
Nah, I mean I enjoyed. I mean I'm joking around, but I enjoyed that race a lot. I think obviously stuff out of my control. There was just a lot of traffic, in the middle stint, which meant sort of I think cost us. I think Jenny got through it that better, and maybe I could have pitted like a lap earlier onto the sauce, maybe at last stint. But, I didn't really predict them to Chenjay to then pass Vexit. So I was kind of as soon as I saw that, I knew I was kind of done for because I only had like what 10% ERS. I was basically just praying to get in on the last lap and just go for something. But obviously, yeah, Vexit got on the way and then did a nice little move down the inside. Love to see it. Didn't even matter in the end, but just for show. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the result. I wanted that win, obviously, but we'll take it.
I mean, you did an incredible race, and the ascend at the end was phenomenal to see. I think your pace was nothing to be upset about at all. But when it came down to a couple of decisions, I think your first pit stop was ultimately what stopped you from being able to properly take the win here today. I think you maybe took it a bit too far out, and Chenjay's gap was just so significant after that. Would you agree?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, the traffic definitely. I don't know where I would have come out. Well, I suppose actually, I could have probably would have come out ahead of Andy, wouldn't I? Because
Yeah.
it was quite close. I don't know.
Yeah, the
It is what it
undercut
is.
seemed to be so much more effective than the overcut.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect those to have such a fuffle though afterwards. So it would have been all right if we just went, but obviously that didn't happen, and I had a lot of pace at that point in the race, which I couldn't really use. So it's a shame, but whatever. We'll learn and we move on, I guess. I mean, yeah.
Well, next week is Russia. Are you feeling confident?
Russia.
Yeah.
Bad track. However, I don't know. I I've probably done about 2 ever laps in time trial on Russia, so probably needs to get the quali pace up. However, I imagine the race pace should be fine as per all the tracks so far. So I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, practice time probably won't be there at all, but I'll probably just do a little bit of quali because I have no real proper experience over one lap pace. So yeah, but looking forward to rest of season now because uh yeah, after Russia then Brazil, and I don't know where I sit in the championship, but I imagine it's pretty decent. So
Well, you're P1 currently.
Yeah.
I think you stay P1 as it sits. So be looking pretty damn good.
I don't know what the gap looks like. I mean, I gained 8 points on some idiot. So and yeah, I don't imagine Andy would have passed at all. Some idiot. So I imagine that's the gap. Whatever it was, I can't
You stay
remember.
P1. You definitely stay P1.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know I stay P1 because the only one person to beat Chedjay and he's in the championship. So
The gap
Yeah.
is around about 10 points, apparently, I'm told. So yeah, you still got your work cut out for you. It's definitely not an easy sail into the end of the season,
at all,
but
not at
it's
all.
going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. So easy starts P1 next week. Looking forward to you getting the dub ski. And they've only got 2 races to go, so you've got to really get every single point you can.
Yeah, it should be a good 10 season. I don't know what numbers look like. I'll look later time. So could we wrap up the championship at Russia potentially? I don't know.
Oh, it
What the
depends. It
gap
depends
looks
how
like.
bad some idiot is.
Yeah,
If he does
but
bad at all. Because, I mean, the thing is, again, it's one of those tracks where it comes down to keeping clean on penalties. And he has been, I think he's the only driver. No, is he the only driver who's not had a penalty yet? I think he is, right? I don't think he's had a single penalty on track.
he has not had a single penalty.
So if he continues that run, he will
That's good for
be.
Russia.
He's
So
going to have a big win next week.
yeah, I mean Russia. I remember last season I got lucky because it was raiding and qualifying, so I didn't have to worry about the quali pace.
True.
And yeah, I know. Yeah, so somebody is going to be clean on penalties and he is going to have good road pace. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
hope for a good one.
it's going to be a good one.
P1
Alrighty.
easy.
Well, looking forward to seeing you get the P1 easy next week. And thank you for today. Congratulations on your P2.
Thank you very much.
JJ is busy. It looks like I'm
Oh,
gonna move him real quick and find out. Let's see if he's up for an interview. We'll find out now. JJ,
That's not
are you up for an interview?
sure.
You sound enthralled.
I'm absolutely enthralled.
All right. Well, real quick, let's just talk about your strategy call. You went softs, mediums. I saw in the league chat you weren't initially excited about that. Why was that? Because it looked like it worked out in the end. Just
I think it was definitely slower. Because I feel like, I mean, in the first stint, I was 2 seconds ahead when I pit, and I was, after I pit, I undercut and it was like 5 seconds ahead. So I'm not sure, honestly, if soft medium medium was slower or faster, because there was traffic for everyone. So I don't know if I did this again, I'd probably do soft medium soft, but I guess soft medium medium wasn't bad. Still worked at the end, partly thanks to Vexit holding up Tom.
cheers.
yeah, good guy, Vexit. I mean, he had to go for a big boy send into turn 4 in order to have a chance of getting a run on you. But I think the other problem was you didn't have any ERS anyway to do anything about it. But my word, you definitely gave us a bit of something to watch, that's for sure. But when it came down to it all, you still managed to secure the win, especially after your incredible qualifying performance yesterday. You looked untouchable until the end of the race, where it was very borderline. Are you racing next week in Russia?
Yeah, I think so. I
right.
don't see why not, unless something comes up.
Well, I need to get a prediction from you then, please.
P2. It's prediction.
In the quali or
Russia.
race?
Race.
Okay. What about quali? Vex has put you on pole, by the way.
I suck at Russia. I don't know, P3.
Okay, well, that's not very confident, but I'll take it. And then P2 in the race. Yeah. Well, you better get it now. You've laid it down. You better at least get a P2. Top Tom said he's going to clap you easy. P1. He's what he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
As per.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll call the strategy correctly next time.
Yeah,
Win by
maybe.
30 seconds. Easy.
All right, now seriously, good GG's there, guys. Well done on the race. Congrats on the win, Chen J. Congrats on P2, Top Tom. And I look forward to seeing you both scrap it out in the Grand Prix next week.
Yeah, thanks.
I will move you both back to the cooldown room so you can go and chill out. There you go. And now there's one final interview that we're going to quickly do because you may not know this. It has been announced in the chat already. But there is Constructors Championships that have already been concluded. As you could probably imagine, Racing Point are your Constructors Champions. How you all doing?
Okay. Okay, that's what we'll go with.
Well, I mean, it was a really good...
Go
on.
Some PC issues during the whole race, basically.
Yeah.
Driving with 30 FPS didn't feel nice, and yeah, was a bit of a pain, and then with the end,
It hurts me that you're so much faster than me, even on 30 FPS. Like that,
Yeah.
and you have a grayscale as well, which
A
makes it even
grayscale?
worse.
What is
Yeah.
a grayscale?
Black and white screen.
Yeah, but that's only the second monitor.
Oh.
The normal
But
one
it's-
was normal.
Oh, okay. So like you just need to get a better cable there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, to be honest, with the thing. I guess I have to reset it, but yeah.
But I mean, overall, the entire season, I think, Smitty, you're the only driver out of all of the races that hasn't had a single penalty at all. And
Lies.
obviously,
Nice.
Lies.
is it? Go on.
Canada. 3 seconds in Canada.
Oh, you ruined it now.
I am the only
Treacherous
driver.
scum.
I am the only driver who didn't get the corner cutting penalty all season.
You had a speeding and a pedaling penalty there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
that's
not a
right.
corner cutting
No,
penalty.
no, yeah. We're talking
It's
about
still a
overall
penalty.
penalties, including speeding.
Is there? Has there? Because Copy got one as well, didn't he? So there's now. I don't think there's anyone then.
But he did got his bullshit penalty in USA with the safety car. Like, there's no one who didn't get the penalty, basically.
Yeah.
At some
True,
point.
true,
Yeah,
true,
good
true.
point. Yeah.
But go ahead, you guys. Go ahead.
But next week is Russia. I know you've got nothing to gain when it comes to constructors because you've already done that easy clap, but there is still a driver in this chat here who has a chance at taking the drivers. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but if you continue driving the way you have done, especially in Russia, you're going to be setting yourself up for a nice little closure going into the final race.
You're
So,
selling
Savidia,
me too hard. You are
how you gonna
selling
get
me
it?
too hard.
No, you're
You
selling
are
yourself
selling-
too. You're
You're
selling
No,
selling
no,
yourself
no.
too thin.
I
Cody.
disagree. Their lies have been detected, Jess. Lies have been... No, it's gonna be difficult. I mean, Top Tom, he's quick as hell, and we'll try to combat him, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I think I'm a long shot, but I like it when I'm the guy who's a long shot. That's where I think I come in. I got a bit of a chip on my shoulder, but we'll see what happens. Try what we can. Maybe we get a little bit of luck and we can be within striking distance in Brazil. I'd love for it to be a head-to-head fight in Brazil. That would be fantastic, but we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I just want to say one more thing, though. So thank you to everyone for our Racing Point team, Gimp and Falsetti. Falsetti can't make it. Gimp's in here. Hey, Gimp.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hey, Gimp.
he's in here. He's
Hello
in here.
there.
Hey, Gimp.
We've got great team here. So us winning the constructors is just thanks to Gimp, thanks to Falsetti, thanks to the whole team.
Thanks
for
to you
being as a
guys. I mean,
unit.
it's just a pleasure to engineer you too. I think we have a very nice harmony between the four of us, and it's working out.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks everyone
thankful to
also
have
from my
that.
side.
Thankful to have that kind of team, So thank you to them. This doesn't happen without
Thank you.
the whole unit.
Well, I need to get something out of you before you go. Of course, next week is going to be Russia, and I haven't had a prediction from you yet. So if you don't say easy slash P1 and Top Tom get in the bin, I'm going to be upset.
So how about we change the track to not Russia?
Wow.
Yeah, let's
Hell
let's drive
no.
Monaco.
I like Russia, so you guys could
You can
Yeah.
do
I
one.
think Russia's my second least favorite track in this game.
Oh,
Prague is
these
my least
guys
favorite.
don't know, do
Are
they?
you serious? I can literally list 3 other tracks that are way worse than Russia. Let's
Spain,
I can only list
Spain.
Baku. Spain
no.
is fantastic.
Baku?
Baku's amazing.
What
Well,
did you say? Baku's worse?
Hmm?
Did you just say Baku's the worst track?
Should we just take the
All right.
constructors off them?
What's that cancel culture? We need cancel culture right here. Get rid of him. Yanab, get in the bin. You're a treacherous scum. Right. I have to set the record straight here. All right. The Catalonia is by far the worst track. Hanoi is by far the second worst track. And Paul Ricard is by far the third worst track. I will not hear anything else other than that. You disgust me. Get in the bin. Unbelievable.
Can we agree on Monaco being the best track?
Abu Dhabi's not bad.
Qualifying, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, at least something.
Yeah, for qualifying, it's fantastic. And it actually didn't let you down at all today. Although, screw you, Leclerc, for pulling Ferrari strats and completely binning Verstappen in the quali. Although, congratulations, Leclerc, because you also completely screwed Hamilton, and I love it.
Hey.
Yeah, Hamilton
also screw you,
starting
Leclerc.
alongside Vettel tomorrow for the first time in ages.
Yeah, and it won't last very long either.
Is there anything else we can answer though?
There is actually one thing I need to ask you. How much are you mad at Vanessa?
Oh.
It's her fault that you had the oof race today because I said right beforehand if she's not watching, then somebody's gonna have a horrible race. She didn't watch, and you had a horrible race. Well, horrible-ish. You still finished well, but
She was busy. She was busy today.
It's still her fault,
Excuses.
I know. Yeah. But you actually want an answer to your prediction
Go on
for
then.
Russia.
Hit me with it.
Top 5. I feel like that's probably the best I can really do right now. I think that's really the best I can do right now. Nah.
I'm disappointed.
That's
So
top
what
5.
we're gonna do is we're gonna reword his prediction for him and say easy slash P1. And I look forward to seeing you get the easy slash P1 next week. Thank you for the bold prediction there. I'm gonna make sure that gets in the league chat later.
Very cool.
Nah, but for real, GG guys, congrats on the constructors win, and I'm ready to see what you guys bring for us in the final 2 races.
Yes, sir. We'll try. Thank you.
Congratulations, Racing Point.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And now it's Among Us time, baby.
Woo!
Looking forward to it. All right, let's hop in the Among Us channel. Actually, Jess.
Yeah.
I don't know if can you see it.
Yeah, I can see it. It's right above.
Let's go
I'll
in
just jump in
there.
there.
And now.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
Gorgeous.
Hey.
He's talking to me. Sorry.
Amogus.
Let's
Among
get
Us.
everyone in
Amogus.
here. Oh,